Good evening and welcome to the Money Show, the show that puts your money matters front and center. In a world full of financial noise, we are here to bring you clarity, confidence and control over your personal finances. I'm Kavita Thapliyal, and whether you are planning for retirement, building a portfolio, navigating debt or just trying to make smarter money decisions, this is your space, your guide and your daily check-in with your wallet. Every evening, we bring you insights from top financial experts, decode the latest trends and answer your burning questions on saving, investment, spending and everything in between, because here on the Money Show, we believe one thing: you don't have to be a finance expert to take charge of your money. You just need the right advice, and that is what we give you on this show. We also do your life financial planning. We also give you our experts' help in order to align your investments with your financial goals. Just in case you want to send across your queries, you can do that on our WhatsApp number, which is 865-797-4571. We also have an email ID where you can send across your queries, themoneyShow@etnow.tv. So your personal finance domain, the Money Show, where we talk about everything that's related to your pocket. So let's begin. And India's consumer story is one of the biggest growth themes of this time. The GST tax rationalization, consumption demand driven by rising incomes, urbanization, digital adoption and the aspiration of young population. Now capturing this very trend is the Miraset Greater Consumer Fund, a thematic fund that seeks to tap into companies powering India's consumption boom, from retail to FMCG, automobiles to lifestyle and much more. But what does this mean for an investor, and how should you be looking at consumer driven funds in your portfolio? What are the risks and opportunities right now you should be aware of? To decode all of this, and especially this investment opportunity at a time where we are talking about from capex to consumption theme, let's focus on this particular fund, and let's focus on consumption as a theme. I have with me Siddhant Shabaria, research analyst and fund manager with Asset Investment Managers. So Siddhant, hi, good evening and welcome to the show. All right, so time to rope in that consumer theme in your portfolio and make the most out of it. But before that, I really want to understand the kind of long-term benefits you are looking at as far as consumption as a theme is concerned. Yes, the GST rationalization is a big bonanza booster dose that we have got, and we've been looking at consumption reviving in the rural, in fact doing better than urban markets. Urban is also picking up. Having said that, this theme is diversified. Okay, when we talk about consumer, it is a larger segment. What pockets are you looking at, which will be doing brilliantly in the long run? Because this particular theme has not worked in a couple of years, and now is the time that everyone is looking at it and talking about it. What are your estimate? What are the subdivisions in this particular sector that we are talking about to be driving very well?
Sure. Thanks, Kavita, for having me on this show. To begin with, I'll just set some context. And
Sure.
clearly, post-COVID, consumption has been growing below its own potential. And due to this, we have seen a K-shaped pattern of demand, wherein upper middle class consumption has been pretty strong, robust, but there has been
7 minutes
stress
to him.
there has been stress at the lower end of consumption. But given the steps that have been taken by the government, RBI, with inflation coming down, we do expect a scenario for mass consumption to fully come back over the next few quarters. So the way we are positioned in this fund is we are more bullish on consumer discretionary, because we think that consumer discretionary as a theme can grow 1.5 to 2 times GDP, while at the same time, staples we think can grow at best 1 time GDP, and both segments have similar valuation. So we think that as India's per capita income grows, I think it could be beneficial for consumer discretionary. Within discretionary, there are many themes. So to begin with, there are autos, retail, consumer durables, fashion, building materials. So a whole host of themes. And that is where we are spending our time to identify and build the portfolio.
All right, I really want to talk about the way you are positioned in this portfolio. How are you looking at placing strategies and, across this particular segment? What kind of companies are you looking at, and especially talking about consumer discretionary? So what's in the portfolio like?
Yeah. No, so like I said, we are finding those companies in discretionary, which can grow 1.5 to 2 times GDP. So we like retail as a space. Within retail, there are many different type of subsectors, be it eating out or fashion or jewelry. That is one space that we like. The second is in autos. I think clearly we post the benefits from GST. I think incrementally, if you look at the small car segment has not been able to deliver the kind of volume growths in the last few years, but there clearly can be a case of mean reversion. So incrementally, we are also positive on passenger vehicles and also building materials as a theme, home improvement, which we call. Clearly, because there has been an upswing in real estate, with a lag effect, we do expect some benefit also to play out in home improvement. All of these that I have mentioned do also benefit with rates coming down with 100 bips rate cuts plus if you look at inflation today, it is at a multi-year low. So clearly, there is a case of mean reversion that can play out in this space.
All right. So the number of stocks we're talking about is roughly around 40, and the top five weightage of the stock is somewhere around 32%. Is that right?
Yeah, that is right. So that is how we look to construct the portfolio of 35 to
Okay.
45 stocks.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the weightage across market caps? How many large cap, mid cap, and small cap stocks are we talking about?
Yeah, so typically, so there is no mandate for the fund, but if you look at it today, large cap is roughly about 65%, and the remaining 35 in mid and small. Small has a slightly larger share. That is not by design, but most of these themes that I'm talking about lie in the small cap universe.
Right. So, I know we cannot talk about return expectations, but definitely when someone is picking up a fund or even a particular stock or anything in equity, an investor definitely looks at the return. Now, the way market has reacted with the GST rate cut news, it was all factored in, okay? We did not see a major jump. So, how do you expect this thing to play out as far as a fund performance is concerned? In terms of return, that should not be your only criteria to buy a fund, but then investors do latch upon that. But how are you expecting this GST news to play out in the long run if someone wants to buy this fund at this particular time now for a couple of years?
So we've always believed that this consumption is a very long-term theme. One should play this from a decadal point of view. Clearly, India being a consumption story. The challenge in this theme has been valuation. And I think the best time to look at consumption as a theme is when we are coming through a rough patch. And last 2, 3 years have been a scenario where we've seen a very sharp earnings cut across most of these companies that I'm talking about. But now we think that earnings are starting to bottom out, and with all these levers at play, there is scope for positive surprise on earnings going forward. We believe that the sort of this theme can has potential to grow 1.5 times GDP, and that is earnings should grow also in line with that.
All right. One last question to you. How much cash are you sitting on this fund, or are you fully invested?
No, so we don't have a style of sitting on cash. We are generally fully
Okay.
deployed.
Okay, okay. All right, I think that will be all. Thank you so much for taking time out and helping our viewers understand the best way to strategize or maybe have a consumption theme in their portfolio. They can either have a complete fund-oriented approach to it rather than stocks. Thank you so much for being on the show today.